Oh, then he disappears.
Okay. No, we good. We good. This is this is
So what are we
this is
doing?
third. This is the third round. All right. No, because I couldn't even hear any of the explanations. So real fast, since I've already done the introduction twice, my boy Raymond, I'm not gonna mess up this introduction because we did meet at the first Tropic Bowl. I remember that. Because I thought I met Terrence there too, and I was like, he's like, I came to the second one. I was like, I messed that one up, but it's all good. But
Five
what's
or
up?
six, I think six of us came. The funny story about that, the first year we did the meeting, we had 15 people at the meeting. And then made the decision to go, okay, well, it seems like we don't have enough people to field the full football team. And after that, I asked the guys, okay, do you guys just want to go to kind of get a lay of the land to understand what we're going to do for going forward? And that the guys were like, no, we want to be able to play football. So I was like, okay, but we're just not going to go. So we actually had more people the first year than the second year. So the second year is the time that I met you. And I just said, we're going no matter what. And it was good that we ended up going because I ended up meeting enough people to basically take everything to the next level. Because that's when actually at the end of that game, Paulo came in the game and he said to me, next year, I'm going to make sure you have more people. And he did.
That's huge. Yeah, no, that was a great time, man. Like I think I was telling Terrence, man, you guys gave me my first break there. Like again, I didn't call any plays, but I remember I was like, "Hey, do a flag here." You threw the flag for a touchdown. I was like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Boom, we did this and we did that. It was cool that you just let me go in, even though it's very inexperienced, and you didn't just like shrug me off. You're like, "Oh yeah, he's just talking." Like you were like, "Okay, I'll try a couple things." Like it was really cool that you did that, man. Even if it was subconscious, like it was cool.
Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, like, and it's something that I preach to today. I actually have a shirt that says it, that just says imperfect on it because that's what we all are. We can't look at everybody as if we're fucking leaps and bounds ahead of them. I'm coming there with six people. I didn't even know what I was getting myself involved in, and over time, we were able to grow. Whether it be you, whether it be TT and Leon and everybody that added their parts of everything to make everything grow every single year. When people bring in their ideas, you can't just shut down every idea. You have to find the people that complement your ideas, and kind of that's the problem we're having a lot here in this country is that everybody likes their old ideas and it's impossible to they literally treat new ideas like it's impossible instead of talking through it. My new idea damn sure might be impossible. There's no question about that. But there's parts of it that might not be impossible, that could be implemented, that challenge the old ideas. And that's kind of where I want to get, not only with me, but with every single person that's in our circle, that every single person that deals with Tropic Bowl, with Limitless in Boston. The idea is to go with those type of groups and those type of plans everywhere we can, every country we can, because I don't think as a United States citizen and fuck everybody else. I don't do that. I'm a person, and I think about every person as a person. And people that are less.
Exactly.
I can remember it. Tropic Bowl 7. There was a kid that was there. He showed up. Nobody even knew who he was. I was trying to find him after. Cleaned up the entire field, right, on his own. He came out with these vuvuzelas and he was selling them to our players to use them. And I said, the only thing holding this kid back from greatness is opportunity. And
Yeah.
people don't realize that. You look at other kids like that and you just go, man, if you had the opportunities that some other people had, not me, then you would be great way faster than it took me to be great. Um, and even now, like it's a constant thing where all of my friends and family members are always messaging me, oh man, you're doing great, blah blah blah. And to myself, I don't even slow down enough to realize some of the accomplishments that I have gotten to from where I've gotten to them because I've set the limit. It's not even a limit. I just set my goals above the sky. And sometimes it's disappointing when I'm not moving there fast enough. And sometimes I scroll through my camera phone and I'm like trying to find a picture to send to somebody as a joke, and I scroll past hundreds of fucking photos, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even remember that I did all this in this year, and it's uplifting. It's temporarily uplifting, and then but sometimes sometimes you get
Hold on. You're saying
and
sometimes what?
just wake up in a funk some days. You're just like, everybody in my circle. I said that sometimes you wake up and there's somebody you realize, especially with social media and comments and all that, that people are literally thinking with the complete opposite mindset of everything. Just like, fuck everybody, I'm for myself, and that's what it is. And it creates a kind of daily depression to where you have to dig yourself out. And the only way to do that is to build a circle of friends that you know that you can have conversations with, and give yourself some hope that, there is hope that we can bring our positivity to a certain amount of the world. And some days it takes you over and you feel like you're overwhelmed by the way that, other people are thinking. And in America, we're outnumbered by this mindset right now in the United States, in North America. And it's a problem. Even like I argue with people in Costa Rica all the time because the president comes out every other day and he goes, "Oh, well, there's a bunch of people with coronavirus and they're all Nicaraguans. Don't worry." And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Well, and people don't think about it like it's anything. But what it does is it makes Costa Ricans think they're better than Nicaraguans. And you're just people in two different countries. A genius can come from anywhere.
Well, that's the thing. Every country has its feud, right? El Salvador has Honduras. Here has Nicaragua. Canada has Indians from India. Fucking well, the States is everyone who's not white. Fucking like Brazil, Argentina. Fucking like you know what I mean? They all have those little. They think they're better than them.
Exactly, and that's the issue. But that is not because somebody woke up one day and said, "You know what? I just feel better than Nicaraguans." It's because
Yeah, exactly.
Better than Nicaraguans. But they can jump over a fence just like you. They can do fucking math just like you. We as America, we look at Cuba like they're just a bunch of fucking third world country maniacs when they export top 5 doctors in the world. So what are we saying? We say producing less geniuses, but we're producing less opportunities to become geniuses.
And the worst part is, I could say I've thrown away a couple myself, in just because I didn't try. People that can get a good opportunity may not take advantage of it.
So it's funny because I've had conversations about simple stuff like that, and you're 100% right. Sometimes you're at a position in your life where you are not secure enough in where you're at to go ahead and jump and take that risk and succeed or fail. Which when I talk to young people all the time, I say, okay, yeah, it's a good idea, or it's a bad idea. Whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, if you want to pursue it, you have to succeed or fail. Because what you'll get is a bunch of motherfuckers out of 40 coming up to you and telling you stories like, I was almost this. And I'll ask them, how almost that? Because I almost got off the couch. Motherfucker, that don't count. I tried and failed, but you thinking about shit and not taking the first step towards it means not a damn thing.
You know what I can say though? Even just hearing what you're saying and what you said before, even going back to where you're like, man, I looked at 100 photos. You may not be remembering everything that you're doing, but you're taking parts of it with you every single day and you're applying everything that you're learning. Like I could hear it. You know what I mean? Like you're not just like, okay, I'm one-minded and this is this, blah, blah, blah. You're saying just, I'm going to give a chance. And you've probably gone through so many trips in so many countries and you're just grabbing so much information. You may not be noticing it right now because you're like, I'm always moving fast, I'm going, but you are, man. Like you're gonna stop and you're gonna look back and be like, holy crap.
But at the end of the day, like you see stuff, like I see stuff and it has an impact on my life, and you're like, damn, like there's been times where me and my wife and TT were looking at something at the same time, and you look at it, you enjoy it, and now your next train of thought is that, damn, how can I get everybody that I know to respect this the way that I respect it so that they can have a different outlook on the world? One of the last things really that gets thought of when people think of Tropic Bowl is that I would literally say that 85% of the people that come with us are minorities. and we are literally taking 85% of the people with us, making them get passports and making them culture themselves in situations where they might never have left their neighborhood. And I was to think the other day about this specific thing because we had our semi-pro team, other people had their semi-pro team, other people's semi-pro team had a bunch of people, going out, doing gangster shit, getting killed, always wanted to shoot people, and we didn't really, as I ended up being one of the captains and Leon ended up being one of the coaches, it kind of changed in phases to where we were able to more uplift the younger people than just tell them to play football. And somebody said to me one time, "Oh, you should come over to said team because we won this many championships." And I said, "But you have a team full of people that never even left their town. So what does that even matter? This is so much bigger than the sport of football. I mean, I have a sports uniform company that I started with a person that I met playing football. This shit has nothing to do with football, but the brotherhood was bonded from that. He lives right next to me now. You know what I'm saying? We have conversations about life and about changing the world all the time. Everything is just so much bigger than that sport. The sport is a way for you to, have conversations, but people watch the NFL and they go, "Oh, it's just all about money." No, it's about way more than that. And when people stop thinking about themselves, I say to people all the time, I swear to God, Walmart stopped selling mirrors because people love to point at other people's shit and act like it ain't them. Oh my God, they cut people's hands off in the Middle East. Oh my God, we fucking kill people for stealing in America and slam 12-year-old girls' faces into the ground for going to a pool party.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's this is the thing. I'll even start from here instead of just trying to get into saying like, "Oh, I can really ball." I grew up in Canada. I grew up in the suburbs, man. I was in a bubble. Like I saw like when I was growing up in high school, when my friends would bitch and this and that, I'd be like, "Yo, like what are you guys bitching about? That your parents aren't giving you allowance?" Like the first homeless guy we had in my town, I was like 20.
God damn. What?
Guy, I've lived a different life. Like it's not. I'm not even saying like I've been like I was just. It was nice and chills. I didn't have to go through much. I went to school. I dug out work, chill with my boys. Uh, when someone close to me would die, it was more on like my brother. Like it was someone that my brother knew. Like, none of my friends have really. Well, now they have for like some bullshit where I'm just like. I guess Canada's changed because when I was growing up, we never locked our doors, man. Like that joke of like Canadians don't lock their doors. I did not lock my door ever. I'd walk in, walk out, go to school. Everyone's gone. Everything's open.
One homeless person?
One.
Is
When I
there a
was
homeless?
20.
Where are like the most amount of homeless people in Canada?
It would be in Toronto. Well, like where I was, they would be in Toronto. I was from Brampton. So I'm like I'm like the outside of Toronto. So it was always nice and chills, man. So, huh?
Is that Drake, Canada?
Pretty much. Like Toronto's a different life, but where I grew up, man, I didn't see any of the things that you saw, man, or heard in the news or what you grew up with. Like nothing. Like I grew up when I went to the first time I noticed like don't I like say notice everything different where you get your first culture shock was when I went to El Salvador after high school and I saw all the differences. I was like, holy crap. Like you were saying, I never left my neighbor. I went around Toronto, I went to the States, never outside. My first time to El Salvador, yeah, that makes you open your eyes. You see what's up. You see how different it is.
I would imagine that going there would it makes you open your eyes to the less fortunate situations, but they're and like throughout the last couple of weeks with all the situations that's going on, I've gotten to a couple of conversations just about racism and kind of what it is here versus what it is everywhere else, and there's certainly a worldwide colorism, but there's not a lot of countries where you'll get killed for it. And that's kind of what we're facing right now. Because a lot of other countries, whether it be really violent countries, like Brazil or what's happening in Venezuela, that still is a lot of poverty driven and just like a lot of people look the same. Which is funny because Costa Ricans that are white will look at me and go, "Oh, I don't think you're black." And I'm like, and you don't think you're black, but if you take ass to the United States, they're gonna call you a fucking Mexican and tell you they're gonna build a wall on you. And that's just the honest to God truth. Just because you have white skin in Costa Rica doesn't mean anything here. Because it doesn't matter what you look like here. They're going to tell you, hey, you don't speak English, learn how to speak English, go back to your country, go back to Mexico. Because people don't even know that Costa Rica is a fucking land country and not a damn island. And that's, I mean, it's a level of ignorance backed up by a level of miseducation in the schools that, like I said, you think about something as simple as this. I saw a question on Facebook the other day where somebody said, when was the first time you experienced racism? For me, it was at 3 when my white grandmother told me a racist-ass fucking joke that I remember to this day and would say it every single time I seen her. But what people aren't paying attention to is fucking Looney Tunes that was racist all the way up to goddamn 1999.
With the rapist skunk?
What you think happens in Africa is that there's fucking people with bones in their nose that try to eat you. And then the next time you see Africa is when Sally Struthers is telling you to feed a kid. So you just assume it's a vast country of poverty everywhere. And, oh yeah, Egypt's not in Africa, even though it is.
But that's the thing, though. It's almost a stereotype for Americans to be ignorant. And being from Canada, we have mad jokes about that. We have all of those shows where the guy goes to the States. It's like, hey, do you know where Canada is? Do you have provinces or states? Do we have president or prime minister? Like, that's just stereotypical, though. You know what I mean? A lot of the world sees the States like that because a lot of people, and most of the ones that they go on camera, because there's too many people that they won't put on camera. You know what I mean? But the people they do, they don't know shit. And they just add on to that stereotype. You know what I mean? Like, there's probably people
what
out
you
there.
have to understand is that no matter what, TV is there to make money. So why is somebody going to put a person that differentiates what's the majority opinion when they could put somebody on that everybody's going to tune into every day and go, yeah, see, I was right. Black people kill people all the time.
Yep. Agreed.
Enjoying the fact that somebody agrees with them is everything. It's church, it's religion, it's all religions. People feel better when they're in a place practicing some shit with a bunch of other people. It could be anything. It could be football. You feel better when you're doing it with a bunch of people. So now, even though you feel all messed up, you get online and you go, hey, you know what? I want to shoot up a school. And then you find 50 other people that want to shoot up a school. Now you feel better about it. Whereas back in the day, you couldn't find 50 other people that wanted to do that. But now when you hop online, you can find somebody that shares your goddamn rhetoric immediately. And you're like, damn, I thought it was a bad idea. Now some fucking 40-year-old white guy from across the country is sending me the damn map to my school.
Right? Yeah, no, fucking... It's funny. I can't do it, but I have learned to see it with my own eyes. You can get anything off the internet. And what you're saying, like, you can just go on there and be like, hey, who agrees with me? And then you see everyone jump on board, like, oh, yeah, do it. This is great, blah, blah, blah. Like,
it literally could be any fact. The way you're saying it, like, I've seen people argue shit, and then they find, like, the most obscure page to defend this argument. And the only thing I can do at that point is go, okay, well, let's drill it down to a level where we find a scientific explanation for the answer of it. And then even then, they just go, well, they could have made that science up. And I'm like, okay, so are we supposed to just go on forever without any type of answer? If that's the case, is 2 + 2 really 4? I don't know anymore because you just found a web page that says it's not.
Right? Yeah. Now that everything's getting filmed, now everyone's finally, they have to see it. So even the people that are ignorant and saying, oh, well, I'm sick of seeing this, well, too bad. Now it's everywhere. So what do you think needs to be done, man? Like, I'm not saying the answer, because obviously then someone can just say, oh, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. What needs to be done to like at least start the change. The one thing that it wasn't a meme, but I forget who said it, but I actually read it and I agreed. This generation that it is right now, I think they are the ones to change it. Because my generation in the 90s, we kind of like, those are the rules. All right. Like, we'll go with it. We may not like it, but we go with it just to keep going. You know what I mean? But this generation really is fighting and trying to make a change.
What you got to understand is that it's funny you said that, because I was watching The Shop with LeBron, and Jamie Foxx went on and he said that we got to the point where we almost thought racism was over. And then we saw it on TV and black people still getting beat up. So that's the logic behind it. But it has to be all encompassing. You have to understand that, you know, in the late 80s to early 90s, people were walking around with Africa pieces on their neck and talking about UNATY, unity, and that's where hip hop went at that point, and that's where TV went at that point, and that's where BET was developed at that point. And then BET got sold to Viacom. So black people don't own BET anymore, contrary to what white conservatives believe every day when they tell me, oh, what about BET? And I go, well, y'all own that shit too.
Oh, shit.
Whatever you want to tell me.
The man took that too? I didn't even know.
Now you went from, you know, Boogie Down Productions and Moni Love and Queen Latifah and Africa Bambaataa preaching that unity to, you know, a heavy gangster rap era where that got kind of coincided with a crack epidemic to where everybody just money, 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 which if you go back and listen to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, The Message, that last verse of that song talks all about that. When you can't see further than your neighborhood, you can only see the motherfucker that looks like he's doing well. And the motherfucker that always looks like he's doing well in those neighborhoods is the drug dealer or the pimp. So you aspire to be the drug dealer or the pimp until you can see further than that. And what we try to do, what our group tries to do, what Limitless tries to do, what me and my partner Ralph always try to do is teach these young kids that there's so much fucking more than your block. I was talking to my wife the other day, and you have to understand how much they minimized us down. So now you start as, you know, a black person, and then they minimize that down to whether you're Haitian or Jamaican or African American or African or Puerto Rican or Dominican or Costa Rican or Panamanian. And now even when you find out that you're Puerto Rican, now you got to be Puerto Rican from this neighborhood that likes this fucking sports team.
Yeah.
Now, hey, we're both Puerto Rican, but I like the fucking Mets and you like the Yankees, so I still hate you. Think of how crazy that shit is. You know how impossible it is to get to unity once you go to that point?
When it comes to sports rivalries, I don't take them seriously, but I know there's a lot of people that do. Like, they go beyond what they should. Like, it should just be for fun. That's the reason for sports, right? You're only competing for the 60 minutes. After that, everyone's boys. You're not going after the guy that, you know what I mean, that did a hit over here. Guy, it's once the game is done, it's done. I don't know why we fans have to take it so bad.
What you just said, you can tell Renee that shit. Because what you're saying is the complete opposite of why everybody likes Michael Jordan. He fucking hates people. He fucking hates his teammates. But you're telling me it's just the game now. Is it just the game? Is it about life? Or is it about, I'm going to do everything I can to win this game? Because now you have to understand the difference between my logic. This shit is about the world, and it's about people. It's not about fucking game. Because people are getting killed out here every fucking day, and that ain't a game at all.
No. Not at all, man.
With it. Like, you look at people, and they'll always say, like, oh, we're are the leaders. Like, you got to hold up a certain leader. No, anybody can have an idea, and anybody can have a following. You just have to make sure that it's not the dumbest shit ever, and you're getting everybody that you're with killed, and you're leading them into a popular, like, not a popular place, but like a positive area. And that's kind of every aspect of. There's people that I've met that I grew up with that all they want to do is talk about, oh, I remember when you were like this, and I remember when you were like this. And then there's people that you meet within the last year, within the last 2 years, within the last 1 month that can completely grasp everything you're talking about and say, I'm totally on board with that way of thinking, and I also want to do everything I can to change the world for the better. The reason my Facebook is the way it is, it's funny because I have people message me and they go, "Oh, I see you cooking your little fucking recipes. And I see you doing this." I'm not fucking perfect. I fuck recipes up all the time. I fuck gardens up all the time. I grew some flowers one time and they fucking died within a month. But the point is for me to show you that you can do that shit. You can fail at it. You can succeed at it. And everything's fine. You just wake up tomorrow and try the shit again. That's all it's about.
That's the one thing I love about sports, man. That's why I love that my son is in sports, especially since he's not going to get a lot of opportunities, even though I think he should. But that's me, right? But either way, like he's going to understand. Like, look, man, whatever happens, you just keep going. You don't stop because you stumbled or you messed up on a play or whatever, or your coach said, no, you keep going. And then you always have your family, which would be us, but in this scenario, would be your teammates. If they're proper teammates, then they're gonna lift you up, man. They're not gonna beat you down, so then you just keep going. Nah, man, they're gonna lift you up. They're gonna fucking get you back out there, make sure you get your confidence back, and then make sure that you make plays and that you guys play together and everything. That's the one thing that I love about sports, man. Like we were saying, and I think football does it more than any other sport because they try to coaches they'll care about their kids more, not the greedy ones that are only thinking about themselves and like shipping here and I'm just caring about like no, the real coaches that are like, yo, come after school. I'll drop you off. Come fucking do this. You have problems in school here, I'll help you out. Those coaches are the ones that are changing everything. And we need more of those guys, man. And we need more guys like what you're saying, like how you are right now that just want to get people out of their neighborhoods, getting them to like learn the cultures of other people and just open their minds and not just think about one thing and believe in themselves and make sure that they can try, fail, and keep going.
Yeah, with that being said, and JD, don't worry, we're gonna go because I have several fucking unpopular sports opinions that I'll drop that'll have you about all types of shit. um, I always tell kids to do one individual sport and one team sport because some of them that do team shit will try to blame it on the rest of their team players. And whereas people will say like, oh, so-and-so doesn't have the killer instinct, because with that, you can hide behind a lot of team atmospheres. And if you do an individual sport like track, you disappoint yourself. If you didn't prepare accordingly, you can fucking lose any given day and you will know why. And you'll have to admit it to yourself and therefore prepare yourself better for the next time. And that is a lesson that carries over to life. Americans in general act like they're perfect and they can't fail. And then the society wants to tear you down. And then the society wants to build you back up. And it's like, you can do all that shit on your own, but you just can't be beat down by it at every point of the day. And I am lucky to have some of the people that I have around me, because on those days where I am getting beat down by society, I have great people around me that can explain to me. Sometimes I need my own life re-explained to me. Yo, you did this, you did that. You got to understand that you're moving in a positive direction. You got to understand the age that you're at. You got to understand what you've done in accordance to kind of what you were offered at a young age and what you had to overcome at a young age. It's funny. People say starting from the bottom. No, I started from below that to get to zero and then zero up. So that's where those issues come about. And I'm like, yo, it is what it is. And sometimes you get mad at yourself because you see somebody else that has, like, you know, both their parents their whole life, that have the support structure and still end up selling drugs and debt. You wonder why it is that the mentality is that. And even somebody that, it's like a certain amount of money that people think they need to make. And I've seen people that make like millions of dollars and have 10 restaurants here that I was doing fucking security would come and talk to me for like 3 hours. Like I had some special mind. And I'm like, are you hiring? And then I had to tell him, what is the number that you have to get to quit? Because all you're doing is just working. And who the fuck wants to do that? We were not put here for that. We definitely put here to work under people, and people have lost touch with that mindset. It's like, you know what, take from everywhere that you take it. And there's taking on different types of levels. I mean, you know, there's somebody who steals a candy bar from the store that thinks, yeah, I made it. I got a candy bar. I never had a candy bar before. And there's somebody that takes $100 million in some embezzlement scandal. and it's not enough for either of them. So the happiness lies somewhere in between, and that's kind of the goal that you're looking to find. And a lot of people have issues with finding that. And for the most part, I wake up happy every day. You know what I'm saying? Because I have some new goal that I set my mind on, but sometimes people can't think further than what somebody told them they were good at, and they're scared to take the risk on something that they might be better at.
Yeah, I hear you, man. No, man, I, I, I feel rich myself. Like I got my son. He makes me smile every day, like every single day of everything that he does. Like it's funny how I can think that he can't do something, and he's like, "Oh yeah, pa," and he does it. I'm like, "Oh, my bad." I'm like, "I thought you didn't," and he just surprises me all the time, man. I got my wife here that's always supporting me, even when I don't deserve it or when I'm being lazy. She's like, "Yo, get your ass up." That I need that push. Like if you're saying like it's in the middle, man, I think I'm in the middle right now. Like it just feel if everything feels good. And I've been trying to do more goals. Like now I got my podcast, trying to do other things and shit. Like you know what I mean? It's small little steps, but I'm loving it.
Yeah, that's all that matters. I mean, all that matters is that level of kind of finding that place, because there's a picture that I always look at. I always show to people. It's a picture of, I think it's like, it's somewhere in the Middle East, of an entire building getting the side of it blown off, and this father bathing his two kids in a tub in a building where the side of it's blown off, and they're both smiling and as happy as they could ever be. And it puts a lot in perspective for, first world problems. And I know people in America refer to Costa Rica like it's a third world country, but having been there several times, it's very, very close to a first world country. It's just that America likes to show you the palm trees and not the Mississippis.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So kind of swerving a little bit. So how many countries have you visited now?
Not a lot, not as much as people on my fucking Facebook would believe. I've been to DR, to Mexico, to Colombia, and to Costa Rica, to Puerto Rico. I think that's kind of what it is so far. The thing is, I like to go to them a lot of times because I don't go to resorts. I like to experience the culture. I like to see
Mm-hmm.
people. I like to enjoy the people that are there, because what you'll see is people go. I had somebody that went to Dominican Republic, and they came back and they were telling me a story. They were like, "The food was incredible," and I was like, "What'd you have?" And they were like, "Spaghetti and meatballs," and I was like, "Where the fuck did you get that?" And they were like, "At the resort." I was like, "I don't go to the resort, so I wouldn't know. I want the hole in the wall on a side street." When we were in Mexico, we did a push boat tour, and somebody tied a boat to our boat and made tacos. I said authentic Mexican. I said, "Not as authentic as I have."
That's the shit.
Hey, stop talking about tropical unless you're coming.
All right, now before we were getting cut off, and this is the third take. Like I was saying, X-Men for me is better than Avengers. Not the movies, but the comics. Like I
Sure.
was more X-Men than anything. All right. So these movies, when they came out, I cannot enjoy any of them because they fucked everything up.
No, they didn't.
Oh, come on. How
First class.
okay, first of all, let's go with uh what was it? What Mystique meeting Professor X as kids? Really? Then they're like
Wait, so if
stepbrother
you're
and
gonna do that,
sister?
did you take Spider-Man and throw it out because the web came out of his hand?
Almost. It's there, man. Like
But
I didn't
once
enjoy
again,
that
this
either.
goes back to everything I just explained to you before this shit. You're acting as if everything needs to be perfectly matching your mindset for you to enjoy it, and that shit's crazy.
Not
Nothing.
so much. There's things that they can throw out. You can make it Hollywood. I get it. But there's some things that make it the whole. It's what makes it X-Men. You know what I mean? So when you bring an apocalypse that's sitting there talking like fucking Barry White or something. Like the guy can't like he should be like a Doom. Like he should be smashing things.
So why didn't
Not
you think
sitting
about Thanos?
huh?
Sound like
Hmm?
what did he sound like? The
Who,
same.
Apocalypse?
Hey, Thanos.
Oh yeah, but he was ruthless with it, man. Like it was perfect how they did it. And he had his size and everything.
But that's time. That's a time difference in what it was. I will agree with you on that. The size is what they messed up. They made him
Yeah.
a size in his mind. But Thanos is like 3 times more powerful than him. So what do you want me to tell you? You did you enjoy Avengers?
The first one? Yeah.
No, not like the last two, which is the only ones that I really were like, okay, this is legit.
Really? You only like those two? Well, Age of Ultron was eh. The worst part about that is that the first time I saw it was in Spanish because I trusted someone to buy me my tickets. Ugh. First and last. First and last.
So then, like I'm saying, the first Infinity War,
Hmm.
that one, you like that one,
Yeah, and I saw what they changed because I read the comic.
and then the last one.
Endgame was great because that was the only way that they could finish it.
So, see, my issues with those movies is the same issue I have with Days of Future Past. Is that Captain Marvel is fucking more powerful than Thanos with the gauntlet, let alone with 3 stones. She could kill everybody there, and they,
Mhm.
for the sake of a movie, made it the way that they made it.
What do you mean by him putting the Power Stone in and knocking her out like one time?
No, by her even needed to fight him. That doesn't need to happen. Until he filled that glove up, she could kill everybody that was there.
Yeah.
Same thing with and if you've seen Ragnarok, his sister is more powerful too.
Yeah.
The fire
Yeah,
on fucking Ragnarok is more powerful too.
when she's in Asgard, she's the most powerful. Away, she gets weaker.
Mm-hmm.
So she has to be there to be at her full potential. You know what I mean? Like that full power doesn't transfer to everywhere that she goes. So that kind of limits her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it limits her. It doesn't limit Captain Marvel.
Yeah, no. But sometimes this I will agree with you. Sometimes Hollywood just needs to buckle down and keep going with the damn movie because the fact that everyone's bitching about Miss Marvel and now they want to make some changes and do this and that and like I've heard that they want to bring Rogan. So if they bring Rogan, put her into the coma, and then the little black girl's going to become the new like Miss Marvel with the S, like they're just going to kick her out like right away. So what was the point of bringing her in? Like I think they should just keep her.
There's supposed to be 2 of them. I don't fucking know. All I know is Galactus needs to come, or I'm done with all this shit.
It's supposedly Galactus and Doom.
Good.
That's what I'm saying.
Then I'll
But
watch.
now, see, every Fantastic Four has sucked.
Yes.
So yes. So, how would you portray your Doom? This is what I mean. My Doom is like the old cartoon Doom, where he's just mad at Mr. Fantastic for always proving him wrong when he was doing his formula, why it blew up. Like, actually make it the reason why he's Doom. Not just, oh, he's a rich guy in this, or he was a nerd for that. No, he was a fucking scientist and brilliant about it. Reed Richards told him, hey, you're off on that. He told him to shut up. He was off, exploded. Here he comes. Face messed up. He blames Reed Richards. Like, that's the Doom that I want to see. The one that's like, hey,
you're not even going to be able to put that movie out because you've already once you already show MCU, there's no point in looking at the Fantastic Four because they're all terrible fucking characters, and they're all
really?
weak characters. So it's like, why am I? If you bring any of those motherfuckers into a Thanos with the gauntlet, it's the same thing that I said about the Scarlett Johansson chick. She's a fucking regular human. What are you doing here, fighting against somebody that'll obliterate your life? Makes no fucking sense at all.
Yeah, she's a bad man though.
I don't give a fuck how Russian she is. She'll get killed real.
But she still survives. And actually, I liked how they killed her and not Hawkeye. Because right when they were started running, I'm like, oh, Hawkeye's gonna die. And when they did it to her, it was actually shocking.
Well, it should have been Hawkeye because that motherfucker's terrible too. He's just a white dude with arrows.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Like either way, it was one of them. But I do like the fact that it was Scarlett Johansson because it was a lot more shocking. The second they ran, I'm like, oh, they're gonna kill Hawkeye because nobody likes him and everyone wants him to die. So it was cool that they made that twist. It was the same thing. Like I thought Iron Man was gonna die in Infinity Wars. I made a bet on it and lost. But when he got stabbed, I was like, pay up, pay up. And then Doctor Strange came out. I was like, nah, you fucked it up. And then I lost.
Because you're trying to use your comic book knowledge to fucking make money. That's unfair. That's like Back to the Future shit. Don't do that.
I would do it 10 out of 10 times, guy. I don't care.
Fuck Batman.
No, Galactus would be cool. What do you think of Keanu Reeves maybe being Norrin Rad?
Fuck Keanu Reeves.
Why are you hating on Keanu Reeves for?
Because he's the most boring motherfucker ever. I don't like John Wick either. I tried to fucking watch it 3 times. Yes, I don't like fucking John Wick.
What? Well, okay, granted, John Wick is not exactly a movie with a plot. Like, it's literally just a shoot-em-up movie.
I like the last 2 Rambos. They didn't have a fucking plot. Those were fucking amazing. It was just killing the way I like it. But Keanu Reeves...
Rambo sucks.
No. You
Yes.
fucking... I'll come to Costa Rica and kill you, right? Fucking take Wi-Fi.
No.
I call that.
Let me repeat that for you. Sylvester Stallone and Rambo stink. If it's not the first one, they all suck. I'm sorry. They all just repeat.
Have you seen the last 2?
No. Why am I gonna watch him at 64 trying to shoot a gun that would probably like knock him on his ass?
Those are the 2 best movies of all of them.
Of all of them. No.
Listen, you're making a fucking opinion when you haven't even seen them. Look, I even watch shit that's bad. I'll fucking watch all Sons of Anarchy, and I watched all of fucking Boardwalk Empire. Just when somebody says some shit, I go, that shit put me to sleep. And sorry, white people in some random place in California can't kill 45 federal agents, and nobody shows up.
No, Boardwalk Empire was just boring. Like, that was just boring. I could only watch like 3 episodes. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Fuck that.
And I watched the whole show. I want all that shit. I want to know how bad it was. So when somebody says, no, you got to understand. When you get to, no, I got this.
I understood.
Watch Rambo, the last 2, and say that shit. There's no way. You watch them shit, they're entertaining as fuck. The last 2 Rambos are, there's only like a couple action movies that I even put above them when it comes to straight action. One of them is I Saw the Devil, which is a Korean foreign film. And it's
that one's crazy.
You seen it?
Yeah, that one's crazy.
All right.
That if I'm not mistaken, that's the one with he like kills him a bunch of times, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, no, that one was good. What's the other one?
I can't even think about it right now.
Well, Commando's the shit. I don't care how bad what you would
Once
think.
a year.
That's all I gotta say is this.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. The last 2 Rambos are like Commando. So if you like Commando, there's no question that you'll like the last 2 Rambos.
I'll give it a shot. I'll swear I will. I'll give him a shot just to see what's up, because my argument about Commando, because I was talking to one of my boys, he's like, why the hell am I gonna get? I'm like, look, you're gonna get that movie, you're gonna put it on Plex. This is why. I'm like, this is why you're gonna do this. I'm like, every single action hero, when you kidnap the family, right away, it's okay, what do you need, blah, blah. What's the first word he says? He goes, wrong. Shoots him in the face. Right there, you can't say shit about him.
If you like that shit, there's no question in my mind that the last 2 Rambos, first of all, the last one's better than the one before that in terms of the actual storyline. The one before that, I don't think that motherfucker says 5 words. I'm dead ass serious. It's just straight mayhem.
Did you ever watch that Hardcore Henry?
Nah, fuck that shit.
I'm not saying to watch it. I'm just asking.
First person shit.
Right? Nah, but it is pretty crazy though. Like, he doesn't say a word, and like from start to finish, I don't even know how many people he kills.
Listen, I'm just gonna wait for your message sometime within the next 2 days for when you watch one of these Rambo movies, and then you.
I'll check out Rambo. I'll check out Rambo. All right, so I must say this. I'm growing up with LeBron. Okay? So I don't argue with you when you say LeBron's better, right?
Who's LeBron?
Huh?
Just playing. LeBron is the best fucking basketball player ever on the planet. On the planet.
I'll give you that. But I don't think he wins like Jordan though.
Obviously not. but the point being is the competition factor in it. I think Jordan might beat LeBron on a one-on-one. I think LeBron would absolutely obliterate him in a 5-on-5.
Things. See, that's like my whole thing with who's better, Brady or Montana. I love Montana better. And I'm not even trying to be biased. The rules were not in his favor. He doesn't have a controversy with any of his rings.
The
Like,
rules were not
he just won.
What do you mean the rules were not in his favor? They invented an offense nobody even knew how to stop at the time.
Yeah, you could also smack the receiver like at any time instead of not being able to touch him after 5 yards.
And who were those receivers?
It was at first it was Taylor and Clark. Those were the two. Then Rice came in, and we had Solomon.
Rice, right?
Yeah, Rice.
Any Brady guy comparable to Rice?
What do you mean?
There's people that watch the 49ers that says Taylor was better than better than Rice. But that's just their opinion, the people that watched him at the time. But there's nobody that Brady had until he got Moss that was better than Rice. And same thing with Rice. Rice and Terrell Owens enjoyed two careers with the best possible quarterbacks that you could ever have, while Randy Moss was sitting there in seasons with fucking Todd Bowman and Bubby Brister and a old-ass Randall Cunningham and an old-ass Warren Moon, and then all of a sudden Kerry Collins, until he got Brady. You saw what happened in 1 year outside of his prime. So can you imagine what would happen with an entire season with a legit quarterback? It's like right now, Aaron Rodgers throws the ball better than any quarterback I've ever seen in the NFL. But you keep giving him shit, that receiver. So he's making Jordy Nelson look like a fucking first ballot Hall of Famer when he's just a bum. But he's Aaron Rodgers.
White boy was smooth though. He made some good catches.
Yeah, you're gonna make good catches, but you have to understand, like, the way that Aaron Rodgers throws the ball, you can put anybody over there, but if you put somebody elite over there, it's a whole different story. It's just like I was saying, Matt Ryan is the most overrated quarterback fucking in the league. You give him the best receiver in the league. You take fucking Julio Jones and put him with Aaron Rodgers, do you know what happened?
I don't know. That'd be mayhem.
Yeah.
That'd be mayhem, guy. If you give him Devontae Adams and another receiver, no, that'd be horrible. Instead of I call him Valverde because I don't care what his name is. By the way,
comment on the podcast is fuck Jordan and the 87 post office workers. He was killing. That's true. Started fucking Jeff Hornacek in the finals. Who the fuck is Jeff Hornacek?
It's a different time, though.
Correct. You're right. It is a different time. It was the worst era of basketball in terms of competitiveness for Michael Jordan. They had great centers, but everybody else that was a small forward, after Magic and Bird, a shooting guard or a point guard was garbage, with the exception of Gary Payton and John Stockton. But what the fuck is John Stockton going to do with Damian Lillard? What's he going to do with Paul or Westbrook or, even John Wall, even Tony Parker? You have to understand that Tony Parker, as unassuming as he looked, was the fastest guard in the league at the time that he was in his prime.
First of all, Ginobili's my boy.
Who is it?
Ginobili's my boy. I love that guy.
Ginobili's good at what he was good at. But now you have to understand, like, Ginobili comes off the bench for that team.
Later, he was a starter just when he got old.
No. Came off the bench all the time.
All the time.
Sometimes in the playoffs, they would start him from time to time, but he was a sixth man. But so it was like Tony Kukoc and sometimes Kevin McHale on the Celtics was a sixth man. for periods of time in his career and is known as one of the best power forwards ever. So, I mean, Ginobili is eventually going to get into the Hall of Fame, but where I'm saying, like, you have LeBron match up against a team like the Spurs, and you're guarding him with Kawhi Leonard, who's arguably on top fucking 5 players in the NBA right now. You know what I'm saying? And the best defender in the NBA. And oh yeah, by the way, we also have one of the best power forwards ever. We have Ginobili coming off the bench. We have Tony Parker. We have Bruce Bowen to guard you too. So it's not like, hey, we're gonna take Jeff Hornacek off you, Mike, and I know you're worn out from Craig Elo in the first round, but damn.
I'm telling my brother that Kawhi is the best Raptor they've ever had.
I mean, when you look at it and you're honest about it, Kevin Durant doesn't get hurt. They win that series in a sweep. Klay Thompson doesn't get hurt. They win that series in Game 6. It literally would not have been close. And if LeBron came out the East and played against that team without Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson, you would have had people go, oh, that's a fake ring. And that's unfair. It's a fake. So Kawhi Leonard just went to Toronto and took them to the championship. Fuck the fact that they were missing 3 of their fucking players. But if LeBron had done that shit, trust me, they would have been like, oh, there's an asterisk next to that one.
Of course. You know they would.
So when people say, oh, you know, you look at the Jordan and Iverson shit, where Iverson crossed the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Iverson is nowhere close to the handle of fucking Kyrie Irving. He doesn't shoot the ball as well as him either. He's a better player because he has more heart. He's a better defender, and he's just resilient. But if he's doing that to him, then what the fuck do you think Kevin Durant would do to Michael Jordan? He's goddamn 7 feet tall. And LeBron, you have to understand that the OKC series where the Miami beat them, they had Westbrook, Harden, and Durant on the same team.
Yep, I remember that.
That's not 3 Hall of Famers. That's 3 MVP Hall of Famers.
But also Harden was only coming off the bench, though.
Exactly.
Right?
That's why he's the lead. Yeah, it's like Ginobili coming off the bench.
All right. I hear you. Okay. No, this is the thing, though. I got into basketball late. Like, I can't say I've been watching it like I have been NFL. Like, NFL, we go back. I know players, coaches, where they're going, like, stats. I'm with you. When it comes to basketball, I'm more recent. Now, I've gone back to see players because pretty much, like, Raptors came out. I had a choice. I stay with Kobe or I go with the Raptors. I stayed with Kobe. So I stayed with the Lakers. So I've always been a Laker fan since growing up. You know what I mean? But I grew up with Kobe and Shaq and Fisher and fucking that whole team going in.
Oh, you grew up with a fucking dynasty. Whoa.
Yes. But I stayed with but let me explain. I always stay with them. It's not like I'm bouncing to Golden State because they're winning or went to Toronto because they're Toronto. No. I go down with the ship, man.
So you were there with Sasha Vujacic and Kwame Brown.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And when Kobe punched what's his name in the face on the bus.
And Walton, you forgot about Walton.
So listen, you can get rid of all the scandal Patriot shit because they'll literally go and Google which are the most cheating teams in the history of the NFL, and they're all pretty high. And I think the Patriots are like number 10.
It was a fumble.
1.
It was a fumble. That's all I got to say.
I get Dez Bryant caught it. The Immaculate Reception wasn't even a legal play in the NFL at that time. The refs walked over and seen if they had enough police coverage, and they didn't, so they called the game.
Right?
Yeah. We want to go back and look at the history of everything, then yeah, whatever. But what do you think Joe Montana does so much better than Brady? I don't see a talent difference. There's a talent between Brady and Rodgers. Rodgers is way more talented.
Yeah, no, because I actually like both of them. I think more Brady is like he's like Jordan and Kobe. He's a mirror. He's the 1A. You know what I mean? He's my generation Montana. I saw Montana on the Chiefs. I grew up more with Young. I still saw him on the Niners, but I saw him late. I saw him get hurt. You know what I mean? I saw most of Young's career growing up. But fucking for me, Brady's still a beast. I just don't put him ahead.
I get that. I mean, that's your opinion. That's taking over what it is there. I mean, the way that I put it to people is that if I needed a quarterback to end the game, it's Brady, and if I needed the quarterback to start the game, it's Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers, all time.
Yeah, I think Manning's probably he's again going into comparisons, right? He's like our Unitas. He was the most prepared quarterback going out there. He knew the first 25 plays of every game. He's like, no, this is what we're doing. I already know. Boom, throwing, going, all mechanics, all just the same throw he's doing in practice, the same throw he's doing in the game. Like that's what I really enjoyed about Manning. That mental aspect that he had about it.
Well, Lorenzo, we'll see this year what happens with the Bucks because I think they're gonna do something.
They have to do something. Is that if they don't do something, they're getting rid of that whole front office. Everyone's fired.
No, Lorenzo said that Montana also brought the Chiefs to the AFC Championship
and beat the Niners. I know. with Marcus Allen at tailback.
Shit, Marcus Allen ain't no slouch.
No, I completely agree with that. The top 100. He was a complete football player. Like, guy, they had him at tight end. They played fullback. He played running back. Like, he just did everything, man. There's not one thing that he wouldn't do. That's what I enjoyed about him. That's why I liked watching his. And he doesn't even look fast, but he's got that football speed where he just gets away from people.
It was fast. I mean, it's just that he was playing with fucking Bo Jackson, who was faster.
Yeah. Bo knows baseball. Bo knows football.
Name 4-1 fast. That's a fucking lie. Unpopular opinion.
Who? What?
Jackson
Explain.
did not 4-1. I don't give a fuck if he said it. I don't give a fuck if there was 15 coaches there that clocked it. Chris Johnson's faster than Bo Jackson. And it's not close.
What they say he did? How much for what?
4-1. 1.
A 4-1.
Yeah.
He did a 40-yard dash in 4.1 seconds. My dick.
He didn't. That's what they said.
My dick. I want to see this. There's no way.
It's just a fucking lie that they keep extending and telling, and it was hand time, which is bullshit. So there's no way to even argue. Electric 4.2 at the combine, which at the time was the fastest time in the history of the NFL combine.
I'm so sure. Yeah, nah, man. Oh, it's like it's the same. It's my argument with sacks. What's it called? Oh, how is the name escaping me right now? Minnesota and no, is it Minnesota? Yes, Purple People Leaders.
Fucking net. So who's the Minnesota DM with sacks?
Oh man, I can't believe this is leaving my mind like right now. This is the worst thing ever. Because they never counted his sacks, and he would get like 6 a game.
Who had the most? Deacon Jones. That they didn't count.
Deacon Jones, thank you. Yes, Deacon Jones. Like that guy was average. He was like pretty much putting up Bruce Smith numbers. What's up, big guy? And then they didn't count them, so pretty much he's not counted as like the greatest because they never counted his stats. He's just a Hall of Fame beast.
That happens in the NBA too. It happens in all time. I mean, you're talking about somebody like Joe Namath, who's in the Hall of Fame, and he has more interceptions than touchdowns.
He wasn't the first one to throw for like 3,000 though, right?
Same thing with the NBA. People will say like, "Oh, LeBron never prevented Hall of Famers from getting in," but right now they're not letting Chris Bosh in, and he has better stats than like half the people in the Hall of Fame.
No, Bosh is a beast. They loved him in Toronto. He could do no wrong. They just didn't want to pay him.
No,
and he wanted to win. And he wanted to win, man.
So Bosh made the most money of all three of them when they went to Miami.
Oh, for sure.
So
well, they made the pay cuts and everything, but anyway. But other than that, look at this guy. I got this guy reminding me. He's like, "Yo, where's my time? Hey, you want to say what's up?"
Yeah.
Hey,
I got him here reminding me. He's like, hey, he's like, what's up? What's up? Where's my time?
for sure. So I assume with the Montana thing that you think Rice is the best receiver ever?
Of course. Look at his numbers. No one's gonna catch him. Nobody. And regardless of where, I understand that he played with the two best quarterbacks, but they drafted him. Like what you're saying, hey, it's the system, right? And even if he's, and then he did it with Gannon anyways, and Gannon stinks. He made him look good.
He almost got the fucking MVP. What do you mean stinks?
That's the only year he ever had because of Tim Brown, him, and Gardner.
Where the 49ers on their quarterback staff had Montana backed up, Steve Young backed up by Steve Bono, and then when Steve Bono left, he was backed up by Gerback, who Gerback went to the fucking Chiefs and took them to the playoffs too. Lorenzo.
I'm so sure. What other comments are you getting over there? My brother said. My brother just messaged me right now. He's like, "Yo, I'm watching the podcast with Raymond."
Lorenzo's just bigging up the fucking 49ers because he's a 49er fan too.
That's right, baby. I'm still hurt. Don't worry, Lorenzo. I'm still hurt, guy. I hate the Chiefs. They suck. And fuck Mahomes.
So I'll switch to another position because this is my other unpopular opinion that Darrelle Revis is better than Deion Sanders.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna have to agree with you. Fuck that. I think the only thing I don't like about Revis is that when he get burned, he's like, my hamstring, my leg, my arm. That was the only thing. Like, just man up and take the loss.
I'll put my hamstring perspective game for you, right? That was the game where Randy Moss had a one-hand touchdown. Do you know what Randy Moss finished with in the game? It was something like 4 catches for 42 yards and a touchdown. And Randy Moss is my favorite player ever. So even to put that in perspective, and then you talk about a Revis in 2009 where nobody had more than 60 yards. And that's twice, Randy Moss twice, Andre Johnson, Chad Ochocinco. They're good receivers. Reggie Wayne in the playoffs had one catch for -5 yards. Yeah. So that, and when you see Deion Sanders in the playoffs, there was years where he was covering Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin had 150 and 2 touchdowns. I don't think any ever had a game like that on Revis, even when he was old.
I saw DeAndre was the one that broke one. DeAndre Hopkins broke one of his streaks for a while to get like the first receiver at 100.
That was like he retired the next year. That was the only game I ever saw like that versus him. I was like, damn, that's not Revis.
They invaded the island.
Pretty much, but when the island was the island, you wasn't. I seen Steve Smith couldn't even run a slant. He got turned around in circles.
For me, his best football was on the Jets because they'd pick on him like every 3 plays with word at him.
Yeah, and he was cover zero on your best receiver all game, and they didn't do that.
Yeah, no. Primetime's Flash though, man. He's a beast, and he intercepts the ball more. So he has more interceptions.
Without question. So does Asante Samuel, but he's not anywhere close to Revis.
Yeah, no.
So when I put what I've kind of realized over the time is that around the time that Nike came about, and Nike and Apple are both brilliant marketing companies, you have to understand that was around the time that you had Jordan, you had Primetime, you had Bo Jackson, and that everybody that grew up in that Nike era with the I want to be like Mike's and them telling you that's what it was, thinks that those players are the best players ever, the fastest players ever, the strongest players ever. Like, so they don't understand the impact that social media, that basically there was no social media. So that media, and you only seeing that several times a day, had on them. It was like, I want to watch them. I can remember in, late 90s, early 2000, I only wanted to watch SportsCenter to watch Randy Moss and Vince Carter. That's it. I want to see what Vince Carter did yesterday. Didn't even have anything to do with basketball. I just want to see, did he do a 360 on somebody yesterday? Oh, shit. All right, SportsCenter's over. I'll wait till it comes back around again and watch it again.
Guy, I don't even put Bo Jackson in my top 10.
He's not mine. I mean, but there's people that will say he's the best running back ever.
How? He doesn't have a career for it.
Small sample, and because when they watch the documentary, he says stuff like, "And I really didn't even like football." So they literally give him the leeway to go, "Well, if he liked football, then what would he do?" But that's just like me saying, "Well, motherfucker, try or fail. You never even got off the couch, and I'm supposed to believe that you were supposed to be the president?"
Yeah. No, I think the only one for me that can have that argument is Sean Taylor. If that's a big if too. If he didn't die, he would have dominated because he was still dominating. You can't say, "Oh, he was hurt and he wouldn't do anything." But
I think with Sean Taylor is that he's a great safety, but unfortunately, he played in between probably the other two best safeties ever in the history of the NFL. Ed Reed is probably the best defensive back ever. Period. Corner, safety, anything. And then you have Polamalu. Sean Taylor was never anywhere close to Ed Reed.
No.
Not better at any individual thing that he did. TT's going to hate me for this, but it's the fucking truth.
No, but he was a harder hitter and than Ed Reed was.
Yeah, but there was harder hitters than him.
Yeah.
So it was it was a time in which the competition was so steep for that it was like, okay, you're here, you're Sean Taylor, but you have fucking Polamalu jumping over entire offensive lines to stop plays in the playoffs doing Super Bowls. And you have Ed Reed. I saw Ed Reed one time in a playoff game. Peyton Manning tried to throw the ball out of bounds. Like, I'm just going to throw this one away. And Ed Reed intercepted it out of bounds. And I'm like, and then when you hear Belichick talk about Ed Reed, that's it. It's over after that.
Yeah.
He don't talk people like that.
Yeah, no. He doesn't talk to you unless you're good.
Yeah, and he talks about him like he doesn't even understand how he is able to perceive the stuff that he does on the field, and that's what changes kind of every aspect of kind of what they're doing. I'm going to shift gears a little bit for a second and say kind of where we are going forward with the Travel Bowl and some of the obstacles that we've ran into is that we still have people there that don't like that we do the event. So it's like a newer hurdle that we have to come over every year, where we're doing everything we can. I think last year with kind of the guys we had, we might have gave away upwards of like 150 pairs of shoulder pads, like 200 pairs of cleats, T-shirts, jerseys, all types of things. And you still have people behind closed doors, whisper, talking shit. And because of the way Costa Rica is kind of set up, where everybody doesn't want to be confrontational, you're just supposed to sit there and fucking take it. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit there and take it when everything is a good intention. If I'm doing everything I can to try to change the world, and you're trying to pull out every little fault from every little misstep that somebody might have in order to try to set up your own situation, set up your own event, you're just hindering. And like I said, this shit isn't about football. This shit is about life. So if you're trying to hold people hostage through football, you're literally hindering us from bettering kids' lives outside of football. We have guys that talk to kids all year. When I was there one time in February, I had kids come over. I taught them how to cook. I taught them recipes that they still make to this day. So like I said, this shit's bigger than football. We have guys that teach kids all types of workouts they do throughout the year to get bigger, to get faster, to do other types of things that you can do to improve if you want to do those type of things. I've written reference letters for kids to try to go to college out of there. So to have people look at it as if it's not going to benefit certain aspects of what it is and make up lies about us is literally the worst shit I've ever heard. We just donated money for the girls to come back. You know what I'm saying? When they got stuck in Honduras.
Mm-hmm.
So all those type of things help. And you going on your 10th year in another country, you would think that we'd have way more supporters in the country, way more financial supporters, way more companies on board. And it's like people go to it and they just go, oh, whoa, that was fun. And then they don't therefore reach out to the people that they know, to the companies that they work for, to kind of help us get bigger. So We're literally doing this on our dime. There's nobody giving us money to do this shit. We scrounge for every dollar donation. I think I'm at like $1,500 right now. Where you see a goddamn cop kill somebody and they have a GoFundMe for him that hits fucking $350,000 in a day. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's crazy. Like, you on one hand are trying with everything you have to make a positive impact on people's lives and change the world for the better. And on the other hand, you have people supporting the most negative shit I've ever seen, and they can raise upwards of like millions of dollars for nothing through lies, through everything. I'm not a big fake person, so I'm not gonna make some shit look like something it's not when I already feel that it's out of my heart. If it's something out of my heart and it's genuine, I don't want to make it, sprinkle sugar on top and put a cherry there so it looks better to you. It's already good. We're already doing all we can. We're already leaving, our fucking blood, sweat, and tears on the field. This shit is hard to do. It's not easy. So one of my friends asked me, "Oh, how did you put together an event like that?" And the easiest answer, the number one answer was, I fucking failed. I ran it and failed. And then I had to recover from the failure. But people think that you can just hit the ground running. And I'm like, it doesn't work like that. Sometimes it works for people when they get a small $1 million loan, but I didn't get a small $1 million loan. So we have to put together a force of people that are like-minded enough to where we're on the same page when it comes to making a positive impact on not just Costa Rica, but everywhere we kind of set foot, whether it be when we were in Colombia, every other place that we end up going. We want to meet people. We want your business card. We want to help your business. I've designed stuff for people's businesses there to kind of give them more exposure when they can. I've made people more successful than me because they have skills that I don't have. But the skills that I do have was the missing puzzle piece from them being successful. So I'm like, hey, okay, I'm going to fit my puzzle piece in there so I can watch you be successful, because one of the biggest reasons that I do what I do on a regular basis is so that I can teach people how to be better than me. And when people are constantly messaging, oh man, you do great stuff, you do great this and you do that, and you're just like, but I'm still, poor as shit, trying to scrounge for everything every day. But when people look at you as being on top of something, it's almost like they see the power. They don't see the financials behind it and just assume that you're this. And I think what it's come down to is that a big part of where I kind of am in life right now is that I can control my time a lot more than other people. Some people make, millions of dollars, but working 80 hours a week, not going on vacation, not able to enjoy their own time, not able to spend time with their kids, not able to cook for themselves, not able to try new things, not able to visit new places. And all those aspects of kind of what has become my life is what everybody sees from the outside as being rich.
Well, that's the thing, though, right? You said it. You're not gonna lie and polish the shit up for it just to fucking try to get something. The point for me, the greatest thing, and the reason why, and I'm not trying to like downplay what you said. Just like why I started this is because I have the love for it. It's genuine. It's what I want to do. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it to be greedy. I'm not doing it to do anything. If I can help anyone that I can, like talking with you guys, with Tropic Bowl, with Limitless, with everything, like whatever I can do, like there's not many people that are like that anymore, man. All they care about is themselves. All it is I'm gonna get mines. I don't care who I gotta step on. I don't care fucking what happens or what bloodshed. I'm gonna go like this. I don't see it, so I don't know what you're talking about. There's too many people like that now, man. It's too many. And those are all the shady ones, the shady ones I meant to say. And like we were saying, think about the people that you do in high school. Then people you've met recently, maybe in the last month, year. But my circle is like 5 people. Like I know a lot of people, and everyone's cool, and they're all my friends. I don't hate on no one. I don't wish bad on no one. But like the people that I know always are lifting me up and they're never trying to bring me down, I got like 5, man.
Yeah, I mean that's over time. Your ass is
Mm-hmm.
right now. But that's for lack. Like I've had times where we come there, and I mean we had like when we were there for the Super Bowl, like a 50-person barbecue, and it was almost like something as simple as that. And me telling you, like when I started off at the beginning of the story, is to tell people that it's bigger than your neighborhood. Whoever told you as a kid, whoever told me as a kid that you would be able to just go to Costa Rica and play pickup basketball and develop friendships that are almost your extended family. My wife literally said to me, I feel like I have more family in Costa Rica than I do in the United States, because we were able to throw a 50-person barbecue with everybody, and I invited as many people as possible. But that is impossible to, somebody that can't see the sky from above their project building.
Yeah.
Well, all I'm trying to do is hold you up to the point where you can see that and give you the potential of how you can get there. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, but you got to try. But sometimes people don't try. You see the stuff in America now where people go, oh, they're looting, they're tearing apart their neighborhood. And my immediate answer to that is that's because they've never been outside their neighborhood, so they don't know what else to tear up and set on fire. That's it. That's all it is. So if you're there and that's what's there, you're gonna go, you know what? I remember this motherfucker yelled at me one time at the dry cleaner. Let me smash those windows out. Because it's anger and pain, and you can't tell anybody how to grieve. You just can't do it.
No.
And with the history behind this country, you can't tell anybody shit because you're not even telling anybody the truth. So tell somebody the truth first, please. Please do that. And
fake news.
Even sitting there talking to Renee and my wife, because my wife has a base education in Puerto Rico, where they tell everybody the truth about their history. And in Canada, you get a different perspective of history. But here, it's like, hey, Christopher Columbus ate corns with some Native Americans, until you get older and realize, oh, smallpox blankets. Yeah. Why don't we tell you that?
Rape and pillage, son. Rape and pillage.
The truth. That don't make no sense.
Germany does mention the Nazis. It's not like they black it out. You know what I mean? Like they say, yo, man, that's our history.
Is exactly what Trevor Noah said. Trevor Noah was like, he's from South Africa. He was like, we had real racism. He goes, and the problem now with America is that they've literally never admitted this. They never said, hey, sorry. So this movement now is a movement that I expected to happen the first month of the Trump presidency. I thought it was going to be like, oh, this motherfucker got in, let's set some shit on fire. But it waited until this long, and where people like, oh, this video is crazy. And I'm like, it's not anywhere close to the crazy-ass videos that I've watched for the last 5 years. They slammed a 12-year-old girl in her face at a pool party. I thought that should have been the end of everything right there, because had that been my daughter and I came out, I would have murdered somebody. I don't give a fuck who. I wouldn't have been able to see. So,
no.
But now all of a sudden, a guy gets killed again, and this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Like people tell me, oh, this is the worst one I've ever seen. Like a lot of conservatives. And I'm like, this is the worst one you've ever seen? They just killed a guy 2 years ago. He was actually innocent. And then the cop got off. So I don't get that aspect of kind of where that is. And like I said, in Costa Rica, there's certainly colorism to the point where like they didn't let us into clubs, or they were making TT dress up. They were told him, oh, you got 2 rips up here in your hoodie, you can't get in. And we both worked as bouncers in clubs, so we understand that aspect of it. So now you're just picking apart at us because we have darker skin, which over time I think has a lot to do with hammering home a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus and a white Santa Claus, because now you have nothing to aspire to.
Guy, I was just talking to who it could have even been my brother. We were just talking about this. We're like, first of all, Jesus, there's no way that he was blonde hair, blue eyes. There's no way. And I don't care like who you are, what you think. Like first of all, if he's from Nazareth, right? Where is it?
I mean I'm not going to get into where he's from because that's a whole other goddamn podcast.
Very true, very true. But all I'm saying is I agree with you. There's no way that he was white. That sun is too hot. Like he at least had a tan. Like fuck off. Like, you can't tell me he didn't.
So what I'm saying is that when you extend that like that into where we are here, because one of the biggest exports of the United States is entertainment. Other than, I think the only other country that would really rival it is India, because they have basically their own setup of entertainment.
Mhm.
Is like, you remember Coming to America. Coming to America was one of the first movies you saw some black people as kings. And now you
Yeah.
jump forward another 30 years until you get to Black Panther. And people would say to me, oh, well, Black Panther is still a white director and it still doesn't don't mean shit. And I'm like, that's not true, because I was at my job and saw a white kid come in with a Black Panther mask. And that
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I heard white kid with Black
you had
Panther
that.
mask.
Yeah,
Hold
he
up.
came. You hear me?
Yeah, okay. The last thing I heard was white kid with Black Panther mask. Don't do this. Not now. Technical difficulties here. All right, come on back. Yo, we frozen. That's no good. All right, slowly coming back. All right, I got you. I got you now. I got
Oh,
you.
listen, why that shit up, man? Why that internet up?
Oh yeah,
You
we
hear
gotta
me?
edit that. Don't worry. Yeah. Although, okay, the last thing I heard was a white kid with a Black Panther mask. Oh, we got another edit.
Because
Oh.
give you a longer period of time.
Oh, hold on.
And it's
Come on now.
since
Shit. I still got you frozen.
nope.
All right. Oh, no. I can sort of hear you. We gotta edit this. Don't even worry. I got it though. I got a producer now.
Your
All
shit's
right.
broken up, bro. I'm about to cut this.
All right. No, I got you. I got you now.
What the hell
Yeah,
are
I
you
got you.
doing?
What? I haven't even moved, guy. What you talking about? What am I doing?
Start moving. You need to do something, motherfucker. You need to go on the roof.
But hey, no, want to know one of my favorite stories that I heard? Okay, so a friend of mine, her grandma, she's Tika, but she would go to the States, right? When she actually went to school in the States. This is a long ass time ago. This is maybe what, 50s and 60s, maybe somewhere around there. So they'd be in school, and she would tell them how it was different. I cracked up. So the thing was, is the teachers used to send the white kids to the kitchen as punishment because it was with all the black chefs. Now she grew up in Limon, so she'd go down there, fucking skipping class and chilling out with all the chefs and eating all the food. But the little white girls would go in the corner and cry
What?
because they're surrounded by black guys. It's a long time,
I mean,
long ass time ago.
but you're so that the idea behind that it just stems from a constant backing up of this idea of everybody being some dangerous drug dealer, killer, or something like that. And where I was getting with the Black Panther and the Coming to America thing is like between Coming to America and Black Panther, I can't. There might be one or two movies where minorities were seen in a position of kings, and considering minorities were kings for almost 35,000 years in the history of the world, there's not very much evidence of it, especially here. So that's one of the biggest things in empowering somebody, because now if you're a young minority kid, you know, speaking from my experience, and you're only looking at Superman and you're only looking at Batman, I'm not a millionaire Bruce Wayne, and I'm not a fucking alien. So what am I supposed to do? The next people you're going to look at is, you know, Jesus, and that's what you aspire to be. And guess what? At least what they're telling you is that he doesn't look like you. So now you feel like, okay, well, I can never look like that. So what am I supposed to do? It takes you years to even find a place that it works for yourself the right way. And then when you do, you have to then attack it and pass that knowledge on. But because it's, especially in the idea of the surface Christianity, because if you narrow it down to the practicing of actual Christianity, then sure, it'll be a good life guideline for you. But what we've done here and there and everywhere around the world is people have chosen to just go, you know what, I like this, but I don't like this, and I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to put this back, and I'm going to do this. And that's where you end up saying shit like, when looting starts, the shooting starts.
Yeah.
And I end up saying shit like, that doesn't sound like Jesus. That sounds like Stalin.
Very true, man. Very true. No, I agree. It's fucking shit. I'm trying to think about it right now. Like, where was a black guy king? Like in a movie. I'm trying to think about it right now. And yeah, Coming to America. After that,
Scotland with goddamn Forrest Whitaker. But that's
but that's after.
Not the same type of empowering. Like the Black Panther shit is empowering. And if you see, not only the fact that the idea of putting that minority as a king and as a prince there, but also the fact of it was the #1 selling movie ever at the time. So a lot of people, and it impacted a lot of people's minds. And somebody that is a younger white kid at the time and hasn't already been poisoned by this systematic kind of racism just goes, I just want to be him. And that's it. And that can change the mindset of everything going forward. But now, you know, you get those type of gains, and then now every day you have somebody hammering the fact of how you're supposed to feel and how you're supposed to be angry and how you're supposed to be mad, as if somebody didn't just set a church on fire 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? You
heard about that.
People will go, oh, this motherfucker was a drug addict and we're celebrating him. It's like, no, this is everybody. And you want it to just be about him, but it's not that. It's everybody up to this point where it's finally not enough. How do you literally say, oh, I'm a police officer, and you know, I thought I was in my house. What are you doing here? I'm gonna kill you. I'm in my own house. Like, how do you even stop that as a person? How do you create a situation to where I'm in my own house, you come in my house and tell me I'm not in my house and kill me?
That's the Chappelle joke I just thought about. I had to shoot him, and he put up a bunch of pictures of him and his family all in this house.
Pretty much what it is. And kind of with the people that are around me constantly and the people that I talk to constantly, I always shout out ideas. Sometimes they're great ideas, sometimes they're bad ideas, sometimes they can be acted on, sometimes they need to be tweaked in other directions. But it's a forward-thinking progress from an old-thinking country. We're looking at Costa Rica as if it's a third world country, but it runs 11 months out of the year on green electricity, and we can't even run a fucking hour on green electricity in a year because all the old mindset, all the old money. Oh, we're gonna bring back the coal industry. We're gonna get rid of the Environmental Protection Agency. So you know where we're headed with that? We're gonna fuck the air up so bad that they're gonna sell us a bag of oxygen with our fucking spring water.
Well, there's already oxygen clubs, right?
Yeah. So that's what's going to happen going forward. They're going to say, oh, guess what? You can extend your life by 5 years if you just stop at the oxygen club. And
I'm sorry, that shit's just crazy, though. That's just crazy. How are you paying to go fucking breathe that crap? Like, how stupid is that?
Yeah, I
Please
mean,
tell me.
it's like you having a oxygen bag on the corner. I mean, on like the sideline of an NFL game, and places like California that have the worst air quality in the United States, and places like the Everglades in Florida, which have some of the worst air quality in the world. It's eventually going to get to that point if we don't curb it, and they're not taking, or at least our people are not even acting like. You literally have people here, a little bit less than 50% of the country that just goes, yeah, that shit's fake. And hammered home, just like we started the conversation about. Find a website that tells you that them destroying our air is fake.
Yeah, but you can always find a website that goes with. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. You can always find a website that can go with your opinion. Like I found one that says smoking herb can save you from coronavirus. I go to my wife. I'm like, see, like it's obviously like it's bullshit, but you can find it.
Something like that can certainly be true because when it comes to marijuana in general, there's like 110 cannabinoids and they only know of 2 of them. One of them is THC, the other one's CBD. There's so many more that can do so many things, but because this country prevented it for so long, they need another 15 years to even study it properly because it's just now coming legal. So they have to rely on studies from other countries to even go ahead and look at it for the properties that it can do. I mean, I've basically managed the dispensary for the last 2 years, and I have personally weaned people off of pain pills like Percocets or like methadone or like heroin addiction with oral ways of taking marijuana because it gave them relief they needed to get rid of those withdrawals. So those are little things that you can do going forward to understand it, but it all has to do with the education, which strangely enough, what a segue. I'm in the process of writing a introductory marijuana book for kids. So that's
serious.
First at an early age.
Nice. I absolutely love it, man. Like it's the only thing that I'll abuse, but not to the point where, you know what I mean? It's not I'm not selling my TV for it, man. If I can't get a joint, I get a little moody. That's it. You know what I mean? I might get a little moody. I go to bed early. Like, what's the problem? It's not. And the worst part is here in Costa Rica, God, I could be smoking crack, and they're like, "Oh, pobrecito, poor guy." This, that. I smoke a spliff. They're all like, "Oh, look at this drug addict." It's like, really? Like they got their priorities backwards, man.
But that's the same thing as stigma here. You're talking about 2 major reasons why marijuana was outlawed in the United States. The first one is that they said hemp because hemp was rivaling the cotton industry and grew 3 times as fast. The second reason was that you literally had senators say that white women would smoke marijuana and want to sleep with black men. After that, the shit was over.
There was also, did you see it's on Netflix with John Leguizamo about the Latin history? They said Mexicans would smoke it and get crazy and rape women. It's like, what?
Once again, think about when they were talking about that and think about the fucking president that just said that shit 2 years ago.
Yeah.
All the Mexicans that come here are rapists and murderers.
All of them. No. It's fake news.
So when you say a statement like that and you backtrack off of it, I talk about this all the time because it's like if you say you watched a show on one day and the news said, you know what? Costa Ricans are murdering people at an alarming rate. And then you missed the show the next day where they went, oh, sorry. They weren't murdering people at an alarming rate. 1 person got killed. You never saw the correction. So in your fucking mind, Costa Ricans are murdering people at an alarming rate. This lady said to me last year, I have a necklace that I bought in Costa Rica. She said, where'd you get that necklace? It's so beautiful. And I said, oh, I got it in Colombia. And she goes, oh, yeah, you got to get stuff from places like that. Did you hear about the lady in Costa Rica? That's what her mind said. The one lady that died in the Airbnb? I go, no, I didn't, because I live in Florida where a lady 2 streets away from me killed her baby and buried it behind a rec center. So why the fuck am I supposed to care about 1 person out of 5 million and be scared to travel? Or, hey, don't go to DR. The alcohol's killing people. I said, really? How many is it? Let's look at the numbers. Oh, it's at 15. Well, that's the average per year. But I've never, ever seen that average about Las Vegas.
Right.
Because I guarantee you more people die of alcohol poisoning in Las Vegas than do in Dominican Republic.
Like, I the only thing that stays in my mind is stand-up comedy and movies. So I always have my own opinions going here, but I always agree with like so many things that they say. Like Joe Rogan has one where he's like, guy, like what's the harm in me smoking a joint and being with my kids? What happens? I get paranoid and give them more hugs? Like that's all that happens. That's it.
It's
I get a
true.
little more
It's
like,
such an
hey,
old stigma where people attach it to like the devil. Like the history of this shit is the devil, and everything stems through religion and causing people this fucking guilt that you should never have, because everybody does have their natural morals, but when they put it to some set guideline of rules that was, edited to what people thought was bad at the time, to now is like, okay, well, this could save lives, and over the countless time, it could have been the answer for so many things that we skipped over.
So many. Now, I wish I was not, I don't want to say smart enough, but I wish I had the memory to remember this, because a long time ago, me and my brother had no more papers, and if he's on here, he can vouch for this. So we had the New Testament, great pages, by the way. They burn slow. So,
Costa Rican evangelist.
So what I would do is I would rip it. I'd rip the page out, and we would read a passage to make sure it's good, right? Like you have to read the passage before you roll it up. So I actually read this. It said, like, it started going on about the table, and it's like, Mary passed the herb. I was like, no fucking way. I swear to God, it's in there. He was half asleep, and he's like, what? I'm like, look, it's right here. I'm like, I swear. I wish I remember what page it was. Oh, hell's yeah. It was great. That's why I wish I remember what page it was.
I should have put that on the Genius podcast. That's fucking insane.
Sometimes you got to MacGyver it, man. You don't know what's around.
So I mean, it's a hilarious. It's a great story. It's a hilarious story. It's just that this idea that everybody looks down. It's exactly what you said. Looking down at a dude that's literally strung out smoking crack as, oh, it's so poor, and somebody that's fully in control of their life, because the stigma got attached to. There's a meme that I saw, and it says it's like marijuana moms say that smoking weed every day helps them become better parents. And then there's a lady who commented under it, and she goes, I bet you it helps black men become better parents too, but we wouldn't know because you put them in jail for 10 years for the possession. And now you're not admitting anything, and now you're changing the law, but won't change it in accordance to, the hundreds of people that I locked up. So now you lock up all these people, you won't bring them out, and they can't vote when they come out because you've made it so felonies can't vote. And some states are starting to reverse that. So hopefully that is, because now when you slap somebody, so you have Brock Turner, who raped a girl behind a dumpster, who did less than 2 months in jail, who can still vote. And then you have somebody who did 10 years for a mandatory minimum crack possession for their first time and can't vote.
White guy, black guy?
But and obviously this the situation of the swimmer, Brock Turner, the judge literally said, I feel that jail would have a negative impact on his life. And I'm like, how about the person he raped? So those are the situations where there's such a double standard and a lack of empathy for a minority in this country, to where minorities have to be adults by the time they're 12. Because if they're not adults by then, they're going to be treated like them. They're going to be looked at. They're going to say, look at these. You don't ever see people say, look at these fucking kids. They say, look at these fucking thugs. And these fucking thugs are kids. When you're old enough and you can relate to it and you understand the mindset and you understand the anger at an early age, then you can relate to it better and explain it to them like, look, you don't have to be this angry. You have this outlet. You have this outlet. You can do this. You can achieve this. And everybody else is just like, you can get in these handcuffs.
Yeah.
Go to jail until you figure it out. And when you go to jail for a felony, you lose the opportunity, thanks to George Bush, of getting financial aid to go to college. You can't get that anymore. That's one of the things that people don't understand exists in this country. So there's got to be a program that intercepts this shit before it happens and kind of acts before that happens, so that you can change everything everywhere, not just in this country, but like a centralized system of information. You know that like there's websites on with Harvard where you can literally get their entire ed plan for free if you have the time to
Really?
go. Yeah. Like everything they would teach, you can't get the degree, but you can get all the information that all the students would get.
It's still useful though.
African Americans can go to Cuba and become a doctor for free and then bring it anywhere in the world they want. But this is something that you hold back from people. And, you know, Castro killed millions of people, don't you understand? But that place and that shit is in effect. And I've already had the conversation with Renee, so I'm sure you kind of have the same logic about how Cuba is and what it is and what people have turned it into and what people say about it. Because Costa Rica is essentially the new Cuba. A bunch of white conservatives going there to clean their goddamn money with no extradition. And that is what Castro kicked out of there. So now people go there and do it. And the last time I was there, I seen a guy sitting there with a dark-skinned Nika say, "Hail Trump." I'm like, how does that coincide with your logic? So you sit here with this dark-skinned, you know, prostitute, and then you go back to the United States and say, yeah, build that wall. How does that make sense? That's an oxymoron in your life.
Yeah, that's the biggest one I've ever seen.
You want to just say, all right, now you're good enough to sexually please me, but you're not good enough to fucking come into my country, which is not even your country.
And some people hate themselves for that, man. It's like the people who stay in the closet. They hate on the group that they're a part of, even though they're a part of it, and just hate on them just to look good in front of other people. Like that's always been in our society so many times. Just people that can't be open or honest about who they are. You know what I mean?
You're 100% right, and that's also stems back to a lot of religious pressure and a lot of what you bring to your family and and when you get over that and you realize that we truly are imperfect, we truly are allowed to make mistakes, then you can begin to grow as a person in a way that you never thought you could before, because you have built yourself so many barriers that hindered you from making mistakes that you never took a far enough risk because you were scared of making a mistake. But once you realize that you can make a mistake, then you can go further than you ever felt before because you're not scared to fall when you get there.
Exactly, man.
I want to leave on that because that was a fucking great thought.
I was just about to say the exact same thing. I was like, yo, on that high note right there, exactly. And I've also had my agent pop in the door twice, like, what's going on? What's going on?
I feel that. But I'm gonna have dinner, man. We could actually, we could do this again either next week or in a couple weeks. I can talk forever, so it's whatever.
No, let's do it, man. I have so much fun doing this. Like, I can do it all the time. I will reach out. We have to do this again, like, for sure, and it's gonna happen. Like, but this is what I am gonna try to do though. For the next one, we're gonna make a speed round. We're gonna make some points and we'll shoot them out like one time.
I like it.
All right, perfect, man. Hey, have a good night. Take care of the family. Provecho. When do you guys think you guys coming down?
Depending on what the fucking president does, we are looking at the event for July 11th. If they change anything within the next week or so, then it will be sometime in September, and I'll have to reorganize everything because I'm not going to take one. But I'll be there as soon as I can go because I still have to bring stuff and get kind of a lay of the land and figure out what's going on. But other than that, it'll be either July 11th or September.
Perfect, because my son's going to be there in the morning, and I'm going to be playing at night.
Playing what?
I'm in. I'm in playing 44, baby. Right here. Oh, yes.
I'm good.
Oh, yes.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you.
On that note, I be out. But I'm here.